Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well. Now in this video we're going to be learning more about matrices. Now I made the first two parts of these videos and the remaining parts have been due on me like a lot of other videos. So here we are and I'm going to be covering inverse of a matrix and we'll do it with the help of some examples also. So let's see what an inverse is and when is it possible to find out an inverse. So here it says inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix will only exist if the determinant is not equal to 0. A matrix is called a singular matrix if its determinant is equal to 0. Now obviously you may be wondering what exactly is a determinant is, so let's find out. So if you have a 2 by 2 matrix, let's say A, and to generalize it, let's say its elements are A, B, C and D. Okay. Now the determinant of A is usually represented like this. So the determinant of A is simply equal to AD minus B into C. That means we're going to multiply A into D and from it we're going to subtract the product of B into C, the product of B and C. So let's say for example we have matrix A which is 3, minus 2, 1 and let's say 5. Now if I want to find out what the determinant of this matrix is, what I'll simply do is I'll multiply 3 and 5 together. So that's going to give me 15 AD minus 2 and 1 together. So minus 2 times minus 1 gives me minus 2, which later becomes plus 2. So 15 plus 2 is equals to 17. And this is what the determinant of this matrix will be equal to. Okay, now let's see what exactly an inverse of a matrix is. Now in order to find out the inverse, there's one formula that you all must remember at all times, and that is that if you have a matrix A with elements, let's say A, B, C and D, the inverse will look like this. 1 over the determinant, which means AD minus B into C, and then there's something called the adjoint matrix. Okay, and what we do in that is that we swap D and A and we change the sign of B and C, and this is exactly how you get to the inverse of a matrix. So again, let's practice this with the help of a couple of examples. Now here I have matrix A. Suppose we're asked to find out its inverse. So here's what we do. 1 over the determinant. So let's work out the determinant. So that's 2 into 5, which is 10, minus 3 into 4 is minus 12. Okay. Now we're gonna swap A and D. So that means in place of 2 we'll have 5 and in place of 5 we'll have 2. And then we'll change the sign of B and C. So minus 3 will turn positive 3 and 4 will turn negative 4. Now let's simplify this and see what do we get. So A inverse is equals to 1 over 10 minus 12, which is 22, is it? Yeah. 5, 3 minus 4 into. Now at this point it's up to you. You can leave your answer like this, but if you want to multiply all the elements by 1 over 22, in that case you'll have to simplify it further. So here's what I mean. That means you can write it as 5 over 22, 3 over 22, and then minus 4 over 22, and then 2 over 22. And then like I said, make sure that you simplify it further, which means this will become 5 over 22, 3 over 22, and minus 2 over 11, and also 1 over 11. Okay, so that was one example. Let's do the other example. Let's switch to the color blue. And here we'll find out the inverse of B. So B inverse is going to look like this. 1 over the determinant, which means minus 1 into 6, that's minus 6, minus 4 into 2, which is 8. And we'll swap 6 and minus 1 and change the sign of 4 and 2. So that means minus 4 and 2. Now 1 over minus 6 minus 8 will give me minus 14. So I'll write the minus with the numerator and we'll just write everything else as it is. And like I said, if you want, you can leave it as it is, or you can multiply all the elements by minus 1 over 14. Okay, part C is a little different. Here we don't have to find the inverse. Here we just have to find out the value of K. Now, how do we do that? We're given what the determinant is equal to. So that means, let me do this with some other color. Let's do this with green here. So 7 times K will be 7K minus 2 times minus 4 will be minus 8. So one minus is of the formula and the other minus is of the value itself, equals to 1. Now let's see what happens. So we get 7K plus 8, let's not skip a step, equals to 1, which means that, I'll do it over here, 7K equals to 1 minus 8, which means that 7K equals to minus 7, which means that K is equals to minus 7 over 7, which when simplified is going to be equal to minus 1. So there you have it. This is how you can find out the inverse of a matrix and also the determinant. So we've covered two concepts here. One is of determinant and the other is of inverse. And You need to know what determinant is before you can find out the inverse. So yeah, that's all for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one, inshallah. Until then, take care. Bye bye.